Well, welcome to Sports Back Talk with Boly and Ringer, our final show of the spring season, Michael.
This is it.
And this is, what better place to do it right out here in Sand Bay, right next to the big metropolis of Rainier, and out here with Woody, fishing. How can you beat that on a gorgeous May night after the weekend we had? It all feels great.
It's beautiful out here tonight, Monday night, and we got saved the best for last, I guess. We got our good buddy Woody here, and he's the one. He kind of helped us find Looney's Brew. And welcome, Woody.
I'm just happy to be here, guys.
Well, as you always are.
So how was the opening of fishing, Woody? What was with the cold weather? What was it like?
You know, I got to be honest with you. I slept in, but I did go Sunday, and that sucked.
Yeah. Because of the weather, or
yeah,
the fishing?
No. The weather was bad. Today was better. I was out guiding earlier today. That was better, and but not that good. Nothing to write home about.
Is that typical though of the opening weekend? I mean,
well, no, not always. We had a hell of a cold front here, and so Ringer. I mean. I got a lot of excuses, but this one's legit. This is legit. This is legit. I mean, it was cold.
It was cold. It was tough.
There's a lot of fish down in Kettle Falls area, but
that's a long way to go this time of the year.
Yeah, I'm not that hard up for the walleye. They got to run all the way down there, especially when we got such great fishing right around Rainier here.
Exactly. How about you, Mike? Did you go out?
No, I actually went and purchased my new pontoon, so I am officially old. I have a pontoon. It's a 22-footer, and I'm looking forward to having it out on Rainy Lake. I got to furnish it up with some, I guess, fishing stuff. I need a trolling motor. I need a graph and a few other things, even though Diana probably says she doesn't want me to put a trolling motor in the front of the pontoon because it's going to take away from some walking space.
Well, but you got to worry about getting a barbecue or a hibachi or something on there so you can grill for the grandkids, right?
Well, it's a good idea, but boy, if you ever see me on a grill, I don't want to blow up the pontoon the first year I got it. No, I'm looking forward to using that. And did you go out at all?
I did not. I went and watched a little baseball this weekend.
There's
on Saturday.
a surprise.
Rainy River was playing at home. They win Game 3 and are headed to the Region 13 tournament starting on Thursday. So congratulations to the Voyagers as they came away with a 16-3 win, a walk-off grand slam in the bottom of the sixth to put the 10-run rule into effect. So a good win there for Josh Koenig and his team, and they will be taking on St. Cloud on Thursday at 1:30 in a double elimination 18 tournament down in St. Cloud, actually on the University of St. John's. The Division II tournament, St. Cloud ends up hosting that, so they got booted out and have to get moved out to St. John's. So, but congratulations to them as they get their season continues on, and they go to the Region 13B tournament for the second, or not 13B, just 13 tournament for the second time ever in program history.
Well, awesome. And right now we're out here fishing. Of course, Woody, this is like your beginning grounds for your entrepreneurship into guiding and resort.
Can I make a comment about the baseball thing?
Well, I know it's your area's of expertise.
I hope the Voyageurs kick the hell out of them.
It's your alma mater.
And they're playing who?
They played Vermilion on Sunday, and now they get to play St. Cloud Tech.
Oh, the Tech is pansies. They'll knock the hell out of them. I guess
they have played this year. St. Cloud ranked in the top 10 in the nation.
Yeah,
and 5-3 was the win earlier this year for St. Cloud. So they're looking for.
We got too much natural talent up here.
There you go. There you go.
I don't know how much natural talent is playing on the current team, but Woody beat an ex-Voyageur playing for the hockey team back in the late 70s, early 80s.
Under the guidance of one Mr. Terry Crazy Thompson.
Crazy Thompson. I think he was coach of the year both your years,
coach.
wasn't he? At least when you ask him, he was.
Wonderful coach.
Anyways, Woody, there's not a guy I respect more than you as far as growing up and watching a person just do everything on his own, not giving anything, and he built a business from fishing on a rock probably right over there at about 7 years old, all the way to having his own resort, own guiding business, own pub, own everything, and he worked his butt off for everything he got. He was given nothing, and he's lived a hard life. He's lived a good life, and he's married a good woman, and Leanne, and what do you have to say?
Cut to the chase, Boly.
Let's cut to the chase.
There's a lot of. Let's be honest.
I'm honest with you here.
There's a lot of gullible people. A lot.
I think very highly, and you're a guy. I think, and I'm not saying this without knowing. You either like you or they hate you, and I happen to like you a lot.
Well, thanks, and you know what? Like I said, there's a lot of gullible people out there.
But how did you get started? What?
Well, I started.
That's a
Let's
great
hear the real story.
I want to hear the real story.
Stuff
Well, I mean, I just like
News Tribune and all those people. Let's hear the real story.
I like to fish, and when I was a kid, I would run all over the shoreline here fishing, and then one day my Uncle Butch tapped me on the shoulder and asked me to run a boat when I was about 13. He had an extra boat and he needed a guide, so then I started fishing with him, and Butch was quite a character, as you know, a local legend, Butch Lassard. And so I had a great coach there, and I just had a lot of fun with him. And I know a lot of your viewers, especially the older ones, will remember Butch with a lot of fondness. Going to he was a bartender for about 45 years at the Rainier Muni. He worked with Burton Larson back in the day of the white apron, and
they dressed up.
They dressed up for work, and. But Butch would work nights and then do the guiding in the morning and raised 8 boys, and just a lot of fun. I had a lot of fun guiding with him. He knew a lot of people.
And speaking of guiding, how has guiding changed from your mid-20s to upper 20s to current? I mean, as far as guiding and
it's a lot more technical now. I mean, before we used to do a lot of triangulating. You look at the map, and once you got used to getting on a certain reef, and you could do it without much effort. It took a while though to get practice at that. Sure. Now you have a GPS and everybody can pull up to anywhere, and there's a lot more technology on it. But I don't know. I still like to guide. I like the people I meet, and I'm an old-timey kind of guide, and I still have to do too much soft shoot, probably.
Yeah, like they say, the old cliche, you're old school, and I was actually surprised when I got on your Woody craft here that you had a actual GPS with sonar. And
I don't have a GPS on there, but I got sonar.
You got electronics, and I was a little flabbergasted when I saw that, because I thought you knew everything just by sight, sound, trees, electric poles, houses.
No.
Huh? Come on, Woody. We're sitting down here in the middle of nowhere. I haven't had a bite. We've been here for 6 hours taping, but now we're finding
patience is a virtue. but Boly, I still like the mystery of fishing. And when you take the mystery out, like if you can see everything, I'm not saying there's anything wrong with technology, but cameras and side finders, and I still like a little surprise action. I still like to watch a bobber go down.
Oh, absolutely.
Absolutely. And it'd be nice if more younger people were fishing, but we're competing with video games and so on and so forth, and I suppose fishing has to keep up with that to keep people interested. I don't know.
How many years have you been guiding?
Well, probably about,
I guess 13, but I mean, talking, getting your own boat and
well, I mean, I've been legitimately guiding for over 40 years. I used to guide from Musket Inn when I was a kid. That's gone. And then Buck Johnson over there at Curtis Island, and Rainy Lake Lodge, and
I know you would never admit it or tell people about it, because being the modest guy that you are, you fish with some unique characters, lots of celebrities, some fairly extensive people out there. Any good memories of one in particular you're willing to share? No.
I haven't fished with that many celebrities, but
fish on.
Missed him.
No.
I missed him.
Dang.
But
got a little too antsy there, Woody. Go ahead.
One of the favorite guys I liked to fish with was Ryan Sweeney, who's, speaking of baseball, he had a run at the Twins this spring, but he didn't he didn't get on. He's an old veteran. He played for Chicago White Sox and the Cubs and let's see who else he played for. Los Angeles and the Red Sox. And anyway, he's an old veteran now, I guess. So he's only 30 years old, but he gave a shot at the Twins this year, and they picked him up for a tryout, but didn't go his way. But I think he's done all right already.
Woody, seriously, I could have got a tryout for the Twins this year. I mean, this ain't that big a deal. This Ryan Sweetie might be a.
I was going to half-ass the call myself.
I mean, we are on a 2-game winning streak now, so I mean, we got things going.
There you go.
What direction, right?
Woody, thoughts on the Twins?
I'd like them old Habs beer commercials. What happened? You know, Rod Carew, the crack of the bat.
Yeah, Tony O.
Guys on first, one guy's on third, or something like that. You know.
Tony O, the killer, and Carew.
I really miss those. Land of sky blue waters. You know.
There you go.
No, it's bottom.
No, we're snagged up.
Real.
We're getting too close.
That just shows you, even the professionals like Woody, they get tangled up in the rocks. And like a good friend of ours, Woody, Teddy Hams, used to say, well, Michael, if you're not catching the rocks, you're not down at the bottom, so you're doing the right thing.
You got to fish dangerously, folks.
You do.
When you're fishing, you got to, on Rainy Lake, you got to fish dangerously to catch them.
Is that why they call you Johnny Dangerously?
I'll tell you what, I caught a walleye back in '82, and it was right in the rocks.
You haven't been catching a rock yet. He's been snagged a couple times here, Boly. What's going on this side?
What I try to
say, well, aren't you fishing, Ringer? And no, I'm not.
Well, what you try to do, Ringer, and I don't know if you know this or not. Me and Woody know this, being the fishermen that we are. We try to fish different depths for different areas, so that way I might be 2 inches off the bottom, he might be right on the bottom. And if I'm getting strikes at 2 inches off, he's going to switch over to what I'm doing, and he's done that more frequent than not. Me and Woody, we go back. We used to do fishing trips right around the 4th of July, and we did it for 2 years, and he canceled on me.
Well, I mean, I got a paying gig.
Yeah.
Money talks.
Yeah. So all of a sudden, the free day with Woody is gone.
Friendship only goes so far when there's money at stake, right?
You're right, Ringer. And I promise we're going to go this July 4th if I don't have a gig.
There you go.
I got to get into my tackle.
Got to get in the tackle box.
Now, Woody, our good buddy Neil Shee got elected to the International Falls Hall of Fame, and now you got your own Hall of Fame. And how does one become a Hall of Famer in the fishing, whatever it's called?
Boy, that was my second Hall of Fame. I got in the Rainy River Hockey Hall of Fame. Yeah.
For what?
I don't know.
Not academics.
It wasn't academic. It was fishing. Or no, hockey. That was hockey.
Because you were all American, you know.
Yeah.
Everybody used to come watch and play high school, and they wear their hard hats to the hockey game, and he had his own cheering section. And
so Boly, you were around that time. I want to ask about that. So
sure, I got lots of stories.
Were the Rainy River hockey games?
I want to tell you something.
Tumble?
My favorite memory of Boly playing hockey in high school was in Aurora, White Lakes, and it was a tough game, but he picked up the puck with his hand and he threw it in the net and they counted it. I'll never forget that.
Is this true, Boly?
No video. And I deny the accusation, Woody. All I know is when they mentioned when the announcer got on there, old Wally Olds, who used to do the announcing, when he said scoring for the Broncos, number 12, Mike Bolsted, unassisted. Didn't matter how the puck got in the net, it counted.
I'm telling you, it was amazing. He just grabbed the thing like this. I mean, he fell down on the ice and he grabbed the puck like that and went in the net. Hey, good goal.
The light went on. It's all good, right?
One of my most memorable moments playing with Woody, we played all the way from more like Bantams. I didn't make the Pee-wees when I was younger, but when we got into Bantams, me and Bruce Raboy were 7th graders, and we were with Woody and Mike Hams and Delbert Ernest and Bobby Blaze, and basically it was, how do I put it nicely? It was a future penitentiary team.
Were you the only non-smoker?
Yeah, we'd stop. Remember the old B. Pat Cafe in Orr? Okay, we'd go in there for donuts, and we had 8 or 9 of our guys in between the two businesses all smoking, and me and Raboy and I are looking at each other like, Boly, what do we do? Should we start? Or we didn't know what to do. We didn't want to get beat up by these guys, and but we had a good time, and that was quite a unique team. And there's some good hockey players, boy. That team was loaded with talent. Mike Hans used to score a lot of goals, and
they were all pretty good hockey players.
Yeah.
They were all.
But well, what's the future for this year as far as fishing?
It's going to be a really busy year. It really, yeah. It kicks off next week, where we really start getting busy. And then, of course, in June when the kids are out of school, I think all the resorts are going to do really well. The ones I've talked to, they're all booked up, really. So it's going to be a fabulous year for fishing. We're going to catch a lot of fish. There's going to be some crying. There'll be a little crying, but more often than not, they'll have fun.
They always say, well, the 2012 class should be good this year. The 2010 class this year. What are your thoughts on all that mumbo jumbo stuff? I don't quite get it.
Obviously, Boly, that they were good year classes, and no, I know that for sure. They weren't kidding about that, and I'm really happy that we got the increased slot where we can keep them up to 18 instead of 17, and then you can have 1/26 as opposed to 1/28. I wish it would have been 1/23, but
Really?
yeah, because one big fish like that will feed 3 or 4 people.
Yeah.
And then you don't. I've seen too many times. There we are. I've seen too many times where people will be on some big fish. I don't know if it's net worthy, but.
Well, we'll bring it in. We're going to get this hopefully on camera.
Camera. You just keep going.
I don't know how we cut. You got someone down there putting these on your hook?
Yeah. Well,
We got a scuba diver down there.
There's one of those ones we were talking about. That'll eat.
Nice one, Woody.
That'll eat.
That's a nice.
That looks like a Ringhoffer meal to me.
Yeah.
I don't know about you. But there's a perfect example what a real fisherman does, and then you got me over here 2 inches off the bottom. I think I'll get down to the bottom ringer.
You better get down and get some of that done.
But that was nicely handled, Woody. I just like how you set that jig. You kind of looked like Chopper McBride there when you set that.
Not quite talented as Chopper. Chopper can talk them fish onto a hook like nobody's business.
But then again, he wouldn't be over here. He's stuck back in that Black Bay area. I don't know if he even knows what this is.
Black Bay's a great fishery. I mean, that's a wonderful fishery. I mean, really, you don't even have to leave Black Bay all summer. Now they're starting to put a lot of rock markers in there, so it's kind of, there's more people starting to fish there, and I don't blame them.
Well, I think more people should. I think everybody should fish back there with Chopper. I think he likes the company.
Well, you're probably right there. You're probably right. He probably likes the company.
So,
but we were talking about the slot limit thing here.
Let's go back.
What I was saying is that the way I see it, I've seen sometimes where people will be out on reefs or fishing 40, 45 feet of water and wading through a lot of big fish to get something small. Well, a lot of them fish, the mortality rate is high when you're out there fishing in deep water and letting them go. So I'm not saying that to be a fish hog or anything like that, but I think if some people caught 1/23 or 2/20, there we are.
There we are.
Over 23, that they would actually.
Got that. That would have almost been a double.
That they would actually leave the spot instead of keep catching.
Yep,
you know what I mean? They got something to eat.
Oh, did you get it?
No,
it was too small. It was too small, people.
Thanks, Boly.
Smacked it up.
Bad scooper.
Well, I'm fishing with one hand. I'm interviewing in another.
Yeah.
Sorry about that, Woody.
Well, hey, it's not no sweat. He's going to be eating the fish. I've got it on a plant-based diet right now.
So they changed it for the first time since what, 90? When did the slot go into effect?
Oh,
remember?
Boy,
97?
something like that. Something like
so
that.
So it took them what, almost 20 years to change it?
No, they've changed the slot a little between here and there,
okay.
but this one's been in. I think they renewed it. It was renewed. It was a 5 years at a time deal.
Okay.
I'll give Kevin Peterson a pat on the back, and I'll give the Rain Lake Sport Fishing Club a pat on the back. They've been very, they've been good. I mean, the community's worked hard hey, look at what's going on in Mille Lacs. They got nothing. I mean, it's a great lake. It's a natural fishery, but, All I'm saying is that, and we got such a, you know, we got plenty of walleyes to eat, and we got a diverse fishery, you know, smallmouth, crappie, pike, muskie. You know, you look at all the sturgeon fishing people are doing now. Saugers, big perch. I've noticed the last 5 or 6 years the perch have been a lot of 11, 12, 13-inch perch. They're great. Good to eat.
Good to eat.
And you know what?
There's a couple worms in it in the summer.
No. You know what? I've noticed that as opposed to, let's say, 7 or 8 years ago where the majority of them were very wormy, now you don't find a worm in most of them. So I don't know what.
Worms are actually in the fillet, am I right, Woody? They're not. A lot of people hear the word worms, they think it's like, oh, it's part of the stomach or part of the.
No, they're in the
it's
flesh.
in the fillet.
Yeah, they're in the flesh, and like I say, the wonderful fishery. Saugers, we got nice saugers on this lake. You know, over on Lake of the Woods, they on the American side anyway, it's kind of a boring. You got that big traverse. In wintertime, they got some good fishing and stuff, but it's the American side of Lake of the Woods to me is and they don't have as much of the tradition as we have, like with the shore lunch and stuff. They tried to make a bacon and onion sandwich over on Lake of the Woods one time, and the guy burnt the bacon. The mayor said, no more. You can't do it over. They don't know how to do it.
They burnt the bacon?
They burnt the bacon.
Well, they have it in a microwave.
And then they didn't put any lemon juice on the onions. You know, that lemon juice, it takes away the sting and adds a tang. Key to a bacon and onion sandwich.
And the key to this whole thing is I spent a day on an island with Woody during a short lunch and talk about organizing how he ran things, and he's yelling at me the whole time, Boly, get the bread, Boly, get this, Boly, get that. And I learned a lot that day for forgetting things.
You should have played for the Gophers.
Can we do a little gopher bashing now?
Oh,
Look at Ringer going here.
No, come on. No, you.
Hey, how's Ben Humberg doing? Is he?
Ben Humberg got redshirted this year.
Okay.
The baseball team is doing well. They are sitting atop the Big Ten with
Good.
1 weekend to go.
Good.
So they'll make the Big Ten tournament, which starts the 25th down in Omaha, down at Century TD Ameritrade Field, excuse me, and. So they've got a very good chance of winning the Big Ten title, and even if they don't win the Big Ten title, they should make the NCAA tournament. And
Great.
so Ben is going to get a chance, from my sources, that he's going to get to play with the Duluth Northwoods team this summer. So people will have a chance to run down there to Duluth and possibly get a chance to watch Ben pitch. When, of course, they play in Thunder Bay and St. Cloud and a few other places that aren't too far away. So I'm sure Ben is looking forward to it. I'm sure he's been chomping at the bit, considering being redshirted for a chance to get out there and throw a few pitches.
Awesome.
I remember when Ben was about this big, and they were living over by First Avenue in Rainier, and Lori and Dieter, and boy, that kid, he was playing with balls then. He was only 1.5 or 2 years old, and he was already into sports. Of course, Dieter, you know, I think he used to sleep with his basketball, you know. But so the kid, you know, had an in right away, and of course Dieter's a hell of a coach. Yeah. And but what a nice young man.
He was one of our first guests, Woody. Did you know that?
Dieter's a great guy.
Yeah, he is.
And Ben's a really wonderful young person. So I'm happy for them, and you know, maybe that's the way traditions start. You know, you get one guy in there, and
that's kind of how it was back in the day. You start getting one in, and the scouts are up checking things out, and they find other players, and we got to back that up, Woody.
So earlier, I want to go back to that Rainy River thing, because I think you had a story. I asked if it was kind of rough and tumble, or was it high scoring hockey like some of the scores that I see, or was it both?
No, it wasn't. It was pretty good hockey. I mean, you know, we had a lot of guys from Fort Francis and the Falls area. I mean, we didn't recruit a lot of people from out of the area. You know, it was mostly about school for most most of them.
Yeah, it was a good feeding system. We had good hockey players, and I always said we probably had more Division I players, and the only difference I said back then is the intangibles. What separated a Division I player from one that wasn't was just a small little intangible. The talent was there, but maybe they just didn't work hard enough. Things like that.
I'd gotten a letter from Herb Brooks, and I'd gotten a letter from Bob Johnson. And I wish I would have, walk on, no scholarship or nothing like that. But sometimes I wish I would have
He was a goal scorer.
Wish I would have tried.
He had a knack for it.
Yeah, I mean, my brother had the same knack. I mean, certain guys just know how to score goals, and they might not look pretty doing it. And but every game you look on the stat sheet, and there they are with 2, 3, 4 points. And Woody was one of those types of players. Actually, played a little professional hockey too, didn't you, Woody?
We're going to go up again and drift down because you missed a couple fish on that pass. So let's take one more.
Let's take another swipe at it. So we'll make a little U-turn here.
This is fun. You want to give it a shot, Ringer?
Nope. No, you just keep right on and going here, Boly. I want to see you catch a fish.
The thing is, when you're fishing around Rainier, you got to have your minnows in a Folger can.
Is that the key?
It's something about the scent that Folgers gives off. I'm not kidding you. Some guys like WD-40. I like Folgers.
Interesting.
So we don't have a live well we're kicking these minnows out of?
Well, not with this. The caffeine in the Folgers, the residue of the caffeine in the Folgers can keep these minnows kicking.
Woody, I'm not one of your normal regular clientele people. I don't know if I'm quite buying this. I want that nice live well.
Do you see any dead minnows in there?
Yeah.
No, you don't.
What is that?
What? Where?
That one that's at the top, he's up checking
the one breathing like Don
Knotts.
Knotts. He's like Don Knotts looking for air, It's like,
there's no dead minnows in there. These guys are
incredible,
all
Mr. Limpet.
These minnows are all jacked up on caffeine.
Which makes them move. There is some. You always make something make sense. That does.
Act like Jeff Hamilton on steroids right here.
Oh man.
Well, the motor's running a little bit here, so.
You want to talk a little hockey?
Yeah, we can talk a little puck, and we'll see what Woody has to add to it. Probably a little bit, even though he doesn't know anything. But
so I assume you watched what was that Friday night's game?
Which one? The Pittsburgh game?
Pittsburgh,
yeah, I watched that. I actually watched
it. We're not talking about one.
Yep. Tampa Bay won. Pittsburgh lost. Good game. The Bishop got hurt, and Tyler Johnson even got hurt in that game. So Tampa Bay were without 2 of their best players.
But it sounds like Stamkos is going to be back possibly for Game 3. Did I see that?
Oh, did you read that?
I got a tweet on that today that they thought Stamkos might be back.
That's not the boat yet.
That Stamkos might be back for Game 3.
Reel up and redrop.
Okay.
So that seems to me that you lose your. I don't know how hurt the goaltender is. Maybe you got a little more info on that than I do.
Yeah, but isn't a blood clot? That's a pretty serious issue.
That's a pretty serious issue.
Going out there playing hockey, going for the Stanley Cup, and I know Pasquale Dupuis just retired because of a blood clot, and obviously the doctors know what they're doing, and that'll be a big addition. They get Stamkos in there. Holy
Absolutely.
man!
Even with the time that he's had off, I don't even remember how long it's been. It's been since right at the end of the regular season, right?
Yeah. Stamkos. Probably their best player, free agent to be. I'm sure he wants to get on the ice because if he isn't on the ice, it's going to be hard to draw that $6-7 million a year contract he's looking for. So
Pittsburgh's still going to come through in that series.
I don't know. I haven't watched enough of it to get the feel of that series yet. I should after tonight. But we won't. This is our last show, people. So we'll be talking about this series and everything else that finished up. But I really don't know the feel of that series. I do like St. Louis, however, in San Jose. What about you?
St. Louis looked. I got to watch about a period of that last night. Right, yesterday. Yeah, last night. And St. Louis looked very good at home. Backus tough in front of the net. Always seems to. I actually thought that goal that he got was going to get disallowed. I thought the stick was up here a little bit. I thought it was above the shoulder a little bit, but they decided not to wave it off. So
what I'm worrying about there, Springer, is Chuck Fletcher's drinking Backus Kool-Aid right now. Because Backus is going to be a free agent after this year, and he's 32. He's on his way down, kind of like Heatley, Vanek, all these Palmanville. We're getting all these aging players that used to score, and Backus is like the second or third leading scorer in the playoffs, so he's looking like, gosh, this guy could help us. But please don't drink that Kool-Aid. He's a nice player. I'd love to have him, but I'd love to have him 4 years ago.
Yeah, and the thing is, now I'm going to ask this question because he seems to be kind of, he's not one of those defensemen where you want us to be more physical for us to make a run at the Stanley Cup. He would bring that presence, though, yes or no?
Yeah, he's a playoff type player. I mean, he's got a little grit and sandpaper to his game. He's physical. He likes to muck it up, and he grabbed Joe Thornton's beard last night, which I thought was pretty comical. He grabbed it, and then he grabbed his beard, and the only thing to ask Backus is, how was grabbing the beard? He said, well, it was a real one. I thought it was going to be fake, but the beard was real. What, did you wear a beard in college?
I think I tried it, My hair came out red, though. It's funny. I had dark hair and a red beard. And I don't know. It just never fit me. But I just wish I had another tooth, Boly.
So you're
That's
picking
a hockey injury.
So you're picking St. Louis, but you won't pick anybody out of these.
I can't pick it. I can. But you know me, Ringer. I have to have a feel for the series. And one game, that Tampa Bay was kind of goofy.
Does Tampa Bay have that? That you talked about intangibles earlier. They got that intangible that they were in the Stanley Cup last year. They
absolutely.
I mean, that's something that I know. Pittsburgh was there many times, but it's been many years since they've been this far, as I recall. So it doesn't. It seems like those guys maybe don't have that, and maybe that's something that Tampa Bay has that gives them a little edge up.
Well, what they do have is great defensemen. You have Victor Hedman back there, and one guy, Strawman, who's probably their best defenseman. He hasn't played in the playoffs either, so they've been without their best defenseman, probably one of their top two forwards in Stamkos, and they've won more games than anybody in the playoffs. They've won 9. They've only lost 2. So I would say last year's playoff run definitely will help them. It's definitely showing. Again, it's not always who's got the most talent, who has the better players. I mean, Pittsburgh has Crosby and Malkin and Letang, and it just keeps going. And it's all about the philosophy and the coaching and the systems and what the players are all doing to make a winning team. Woody's team in Rainy River, they weren't always the best team, but they were the best coach team.
We gelled at the right time, Boly.
Fish on? Oh,
I might have lost it.
I think we lost it. I think Boly had her. Yeah, we were having a laugh, and sometimes that's the way it goes.
Boy?
No, the minnow's good, Woody. I really messed that up. I mean, good thing we're on TV. I would have said something there. I was not ready. I thought actually, I mean, this fishing spot can be pretty productive over the years. Where are we at right now? The Brule, right?
Yeah. We're at the Rainier version of the Brule. I haven't been following too much hockey lately, but I'll tell you an athlete I'm really impressed with, and I'm not a basketball player, is that Steve Curry. What a fun guy to watch.
Steph Curry is...
Oh, yeah, the guy who shoots all those threes.
Oh, man.
So you're sitting at home, you and Leanne?
Well, she doesn't watch too much of that stuff, but when I get a chance to surf, if I see him on there, I watch him. I mean, I just get amazed the way he dribbles and he pulls back and
great body control.
Even a real much taller guy can't guard him. I mean, he can get his shot off. And
what are your thoughts on Curry? I mean, he's a unique player.
The thing is,
he's like the Wayne Gretzky.
He was named MVP of the unanimous MVP of the NBA here a few days ago, and there were the how do I put this nicely? The detractors out there that said, well, he's not the most valuable player. He's not the best player in the league. That belongs to LeBron. And, they always get into the argument, who is it the valuable or is it the best player? And to me, you win 73 games. Your team wins 73 out of 82. Without him on there, I think they're a different team. I think he is the most valuable player. And LeBron can say all he wants, and he's 260 and he's 6'9". They're different players. They're different animals. And Steph Curry right now is I'll put it this way, he's the straw that stirs the NBA drink. Woody's watching him. I'm watching him when he's on. I want to watch the NBA.
I'm not even a basketball fan.
And that's the only time I want to watch it. Unless it's the Timberwolves. Steph Curry makes me want to watch the NBA, and that is hard for me to do right now, being a basketball guy more than a hockey guy. Growing up, to me, I loved the NBA when I was a kid, and now it's very difficult for me to watch because it just seems whatever. But Steph is one of those types of players, and I think when they vote for the most valuable player, I think that's what we're looking at. He's a unique player in the things that he can do right now, and like I said, they will take care of the West, and it'll be Cleveland and Golden State here in about 2 weeks, getting started in the NBA Finals, and it ought to be a great series.
Who's going to play Golden State?
Cleveland with LeBron James will come out of the East.
That'll be an interesting. Again, I'm not a basketball fan. Just that I got caught up in that win streak or amount of games won. And he's an amazing athlete. It's fun to watch. And I don't care what sport it is. I like watching soccer. I like watching that Messi, number 10 for Barcelona, isn't he?
Barcelona, yep.
Hell of an athlete. And it's just kind of fun.
Really, Woody?
I do.
Did you read about it? You thought, did Ringer give you a bunch of things we were going to bring up? And
No.
You were out there doing all this research? Who are you kidding here?
I'm not.
This Boly over here.
Listen, Boly, I'm a fishing guide.
You got to be able to adapt to the crowd you're with, right?
No, yeah, and I'm just saying that I have a hand with a thumb that works like everybody else.
Yes.
I can surf a little bit. I get sick of the news after a while. I want to get my mind off the news. I want to watch an athlete that's
Similar to what you were.
I wish I was called up by the Wild, but it ain't going to happen.
Well, we're getting to a close here. Again, this is our last show, Ringer and Boly. I hope everybody enjoyed it. If you did, please, call KCC, call Robin at KCC TV or whomever. Right. Tell them you like the show. Again, our next show might not be till September unless some breaking news happens in the free agent hockey market or something.
Yeah, we probably should get on before the NFL season. We probably should get on and talk a little football pre that, right about the end of the Olympics. Somewhere in there, late August maybe, before school gets started and everything else, we'll come back on the air. And
again, Barbie's been just so great to us. Barbie Borger, she's just been tremendous. What a great person, and thank you a lot for letting us come on here and do our thing. And I think it's been fun.
Yeah, a couple of quick shout outs before we say goodbye. I do want to make a shout out to the girls' golf teams. A couple of great weeks of golf so far. In about 2 weeks, they'll get their section underway. They had won 8 meets in a row. They lost their last 2, and the team they lost to was Duluth East. So a lot of good positive things going there for the Bronco girls golf team. The boys golf team right there as well. When they get going, when the weather warms up, I think they'll be right there. Softball team right now is at 13-3. Although I'll take that back. They lost today to Bemidji. They're 13-4. Looks like they will have Virginia on Tuesday. By the time you see this, we'll already know the result of that. But the winner of that game probably is the number 1 seed heading into the tournament, which starts next week at home on Tuesday. So shout out to them. The Little Fork girls softball team also doing very well, going to be possibly the number 1 or the number 2 seed into their tournament. They're, matter of fact, in the QRF, they're ranked number 11 in the state.
The Little Fork girls are tough.
They
I don't know. Their parents make them chop wood or something out there. I don't know, but they're tough.
That's a key. And so I want to make sure. And of course, the track and field team's also coming up with their stretch, and the baseball teams hopefully will make a run in the playoffs as well. So I know it's a big time coming up with the end of the season.
I'd like to say one thing. I sure enjoyed watching you guys this season, and like I say, I like to. When I'm not guiding and doing the real estate thing, I sit back. I like to lay down and watch a little, and I really enjoyed you guys this year. You guys did a wonderful job, so
appreciate
way to go.
It's been fun. It took a life of its own, Boly. I don't even know where to go with it. It scares me sometimes.
Well, whether people know this or not, me and Ringer don't pre-do anything. We don't know what we're going to talk about for each show. We just kind of show up and wing it. We try to get a guest here and there, and usually the people got personalities, which helps out a lot. And I think that's what makes our show unique and fun is because if we were bringing this up and had a script to go by, I don't think we'd do very good at that. You and I do pretty well together, and I think the reason being is we have thoughts on different things. Our philosophies aren't the same, and I think we work well together, and hope the heck we get back on again next year.
That's fresh air, guys. Really, it is. It's watching you guys. It's the local beat. And it's just fun to watch, and it's fun to hear your guys' view on things, and you bring in a little national sports too. But you do a really nice job of covering the Kuching County, and it's just great. So keep it up. Keep up the good work, guys.
Thanks for taking us out fishing. I
You bet.
appreciate it.
You bet.
Sorry about missing that fish.
That's
too.
all right, Boly.
I know that's supper. Leanne's won't get anything.
No.
Thanks, everybody.
Ringer.
We'll see you after
see you
the
next year.
summer.